Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jeff, and today we are going to have some fun playing Magic. And the fun thing that we are trying to do today is we are playing a deck called SULTAI Helm of the Host. And just kind of like it sounds, we're playing SULTAI deck, and really this is a Saproling's Helm of the Host deck. With fungus and saprolings, all the fun stuff we can do there. And really, the fun things that we are trying to do that are different in this deck is first off, we have Helm of the Host. Helm of the Host is an artifact that at the beginning of combat on your turn, you create a token that's a copy of the equipped creature. Except that token isn't legendary if equipped creature is legendary. That token gains haste. So super powerful, especially for putting onto our lords. And that is kind of the main goal of this deck is we're trying to just create massive lords at the same time building a wide board. And the best thing to do that with is our saprolings. So first off, let's go with the Tendershoot Dryad first. So Tendershoot Dryad has Ascend on it, and at the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green saproling creature token. Saprolings you control get +2/+2 as long as you have the City's Blessing. For any of those who don't know, the City's Blessing is something that you get after you have 10 permanents or more. That's what Ascend also means, is that you get the City's Blessing if you have 10 permanents on the battlefield at any time with an Ascend creature out. So really awesome, that's cool. So the other thing too, another lord that we're working with here is Sporecrown Thallid. So each other creature you control that's a fungus or saproling gets +1/+1. So mainly what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get Sporecrown Thallids out, we're trying to get Tendershoot Dryads out, be creating saprolings kind of along the way. It's not necessarily our main focus, but with the Dryads, we're creating two saprolings each turn, once on our turn, on our keep, and once on our opponent's upkeep. And so they become, first off, starting out as kind of 3/3s if we get Ascend, and they can end up getting bigger and bigger and bigger depending on how many Tendershoot Dryads that we have. And so that's kind of where Helm of the Host comes in. So we're trying to get Helm of the Host onto our Tendershoot Dryad to create more Tendershoot Dryads that will create more saprolings each turn, and also giving them a bigger boost every turn. And we pretty much take over the game if we have 1 to 2 turns with a Helm of the Host on a Tendershoot Dryad. Our biggest blowout is like a Fumigate or things like that, and I honestly probably should be playing a couple main deck negates just for that reason, but those would typically go into your sideboard. And because the other thing that we're trying to do, in case we don't run into our Helm of the Host, it is a pretty expensive plan because you have to pay 4 to bring it down, pay 5 to equip it to a creature, which is totally worthwhile most of the time. But on the occasional chance that we're just running into our lower end stuff, we want to have a mirror image. So we have 4 more ways to create another Tendershoot Dryad or a Sporecrown Thallid, which again, if we have multiple of these, first off, it's only a 2/2, but the more and more of these that you have out there, it pumps itself as well. So we can turn a bunch of Sporecrown Thallids into 5/5s, 6/6s, and it's super fun. It also helps out with all of our other creatures that we get to play, bringing out a wide board that becomes massive. Slimefoot Stowaway to kind of make that plan work as well. We have Saproling Migration. We're only playing a few of these types of cards, so we have 2 Saproling Migrations, 1 Spore Swarm, mostly because we're trying to play around more fun stuff here. So we're kind of also going on the plan of stealing our opponent's stuff. So we have Vizier Many Faces to help keep the plan, like a 5th version of Mirror Image, another version of Tendershoot Dryad or Sporecrown Thallid. We also have Metamorphic Alteration, and this card, I don't have enough of these. I feel like I want a full play set. This is such a good card, especially if you're playing a deck where you are creating 1/1 saprolings. Our 1/1 saproling creations are amazing because we can turn our 1/1 saproling into any creature that we have or any creature that our opponent has. Let's say they got a Galta out, we can all of a sudden turn our 1/1 into a 12/12 for 2 mana. Super powerful. But let's also say that they have a Galta out and we don't necessarily want to go on that plan. We can we could actually put it onto the Galta and say, you know what, your Galta is now going to be a Saproling, a 1/1. So let's say they have a Llanowar Elves and a Galta out. We can turn their Galta into the Llanowar Elves. It is so powerful. Has a kind of removal spell in the blue format. And so it gives, some alteration where we can use it for good stuff, or we can make sure our opponent is not getting away with good stuff. So anyway, I really love this deck. There's some pretty fun things I will talk about as we go through it. We had to throw Muldrotha in there just because we're playing SULTAI. Reverse Rebuke because fantastic late game removal. Just clear one-sided board wipe for sure. Amazing. And let's go ahead and get into the gameplay because this is so much fun, and I'm excited to show you guys what I've done here, and hopefully we pull it off like I've been doing in the practice round. So here we go. Let's get into it. Alright, so here we are with game one with SULTAI Helm of the Host, and I guess Saproling Helm of the Host, Saproling copy everything, because we have so many copiers, and this is the one issue we can run into, is we can run into all of our copy stuff, and not the Saproling, so that's why maybe more negates might be good, but we will keep this on the power of Saproling Migration, hope to draw into a blue mana. Let's see, do we actually keep this? This is pretty risky. We're going to go ahead and keep it. We're going first. Alright, so we keep it. We are keeping this hand. This is a little bit risky. We have to draw into blue mana, but I think that we can do some fun things with it, possibly. The main reason is because Saproling Migration is a great thing to have us put Metamorphic Alteration on, and we drew into our Song of Freyalise, so perfect. Saproling Migration, bring it down, have 2 Saprolings there, and pass the turn. And so next turn we can actually play our Helm of the Host with the Song of Freyalise. Trespasser's Curse. Alright, that actually is pretty bad for us. Alright, so Drowned Catacombs is pretty good here. We're going to play Song of Freyalise. And let's just go to combat. We're going to swing in for 2. Bring him down to 18. We could have played a Mirror Image as our creature. Unfortunately, this only works on any creature we control. So, like, if they have something awesome, it won't quite work out for us. But we have enough mana to play our Helm of the Host this next turn. But I don't think that we do. I think that I'd rather get a wider board so that we can get all of the counters onto more stuff. So let's go ahead and play Yavimaya Sapherd. Alright, so we're going to lose some life. They're going to gain some life back, which is pretty bad. We're going to go to combat, swing in, and hopefully, as long as all of our stuff survives for the Song of Freyalise, we're going to be in decent shape. River's Rebuke turns back all of their permanents back, so this actually could be pretty powerful. Oh, Nightmare's Thirst. Oh, no. Oh, well. Alright, so more blue mana. We have a lot of stuff here now. We're doing fairly well. We're going to bring out Helm of the Host. We are going to swing in for 6. Bring opponent down to 16, and we're really hoping they don't just keep gaining life, because we will eventually get beat out by these Trespasser Curses. I think this is a really powerful card, by the way. Probably one of the ones I'm going to miss most from Amonkhet. It's just a powerful uncommon. Really powerful. Chainer's Torment. Alright. This is a really interesting, fun deck. Alright, so we will play Hinterland Harbor. Unfortunately, it doesn't come in untapped. And there's no real reason to play this Mirror Image, so let's just go to combat. We're going to attack. Bring them down to 12. And so what we're wanting to do is we actually want to draw into land so that we can use River's Rebuke once they create the Nightmare, because then it just goes away. And we can actually create a copy of it first. Regal Bloodlord comes down, creates a bat, go to my turn. So we're going to do this. We're going to play the Shepherd. They're going to let them gain some life. We are going down pretty low. But then we're going to go ahead and turn this Saproling into the Bloodlord. And say no attackers. And now we can actually start copying up the Bloodlord, although we need something that can gain us life. Opponent loses a lot of life there. We can, I guess we should have saved that up for that. We need to draw into, oh man, alright, so Ross's Contempts are gaining more life. They can swing in for quite a bit. River's Rebuke is really, we need land for River's Rebuke. So powerful for us. Alright, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Helm of the Host. I mean, we would be in decent shape just putting Helm of the Host on and going for it, but oh man, this is bad here. This is bad. Opponent can swing in for 5, and so if we play the mirror image, we're dead. So we have to pass the turn. And I think that we have to put Heroic Intervention. We can kill the Nightmare Horror and keep all of our creatures. And then just hope again for River's Rebuke. So we're going to lose a life. They gain a life. So we're going to go down to 1 as is. Live fast, they lose 2. He's only swinging in with 1. Alright, that's... I mean, I guess they have us next turn, so that's fine. Bring us down to 4. Resolves. They create another bat. Pass to my turn, and we had to draw into land there. So, no land, no good, and we have to scoop it up. Because, I mean, we can't do anything with the Trespasser's Curse. This is why it's so powerful, is if you're playing a little bit slower, you're not quite able to race, they're gaining life in other ways. It's just so powerful. So we will have to concede here. Yep, good game opponent. Unfortunately, we had the outs and we just didn't draw into what we needed to make it happen. We were drawing kind of the worst part of our deck, and I did keep a fairly risky hand, and I think we drew into the things we would need against most decks, but not against this one. Anyway, let's get into the next one. Here we go. Alright, so here we are in Arena Standard, and we are playing SULTAI Helm of the Host with the Saprolings, and at this point I've lost 2 games in a row, and I'm trying to just get my deck going. I keep playing against the aggressive decks and not keeping an aggressive hand. And so this one, I mean, we have more mana. We'll keep this one as well. We have the mana to play just about everything. So we'll keep it. Alright, so Fetid Pools go. Slimefoot Stowaway is pretty good. Opponent plays a Mountain and a Knight of Grace. Alright, so Knight of Grace will play Memorial to Genius. Tapped, pass the turn. Unfortunately, Fungal Infection doesn't quite work on the Knight of Grace. Captain Lannery Storm. Alright, so they will swing in. Fungal Infection does work on the Captain Lannery Storm, though. Oh, and it's hexproof from black anyway. So now we will block the Lannery. Alright, and so not too shabby there. We will play Forest. We will play Slimefoot Stowaway, and now that does create black source, so this becomes a 3-2, unfortunately. Opponent plays Clifftop Retreat and Danitha. Alrighty. Alright, so we are going to play a Swamp. So we know we have the Tendershoot Dryad next turn. So do we save the Vizier for another Tendershoot Dryad? We're going to go a little greedy here. So we're going to play Helm of the Host. And hopefully they don't have an Abrade here. No attackers. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. And Champion of Flame. Am I playing the same deck I played just barely? I think I am, actually. Alright, so opponent has a lot of stuff here going for them. I can Metamorphic Alteration their Valduk, so no blockers. They swing in for 3, and they only have 1 card in hand, so at least gives me some hope there. So we play Arch of Orazca, we play Tendershoot Dryad, and pass the turn. And so if we can get Helm of the Host onto the Tendershoot Dryad, ooh, we are in good shape. Alright, so we're creating Saprolings. Right now, they're just going to kind of be blockers. Alright, so Knight's Pledge creates a 5-4. and a 3/1 Trampler. Alright, so we're going to block here. We go down to 9, so we're in fairly poor shape. One thing we could do, let's see here. The nice thing is that this will create 5/5s, I believe. So let's draw Hinterland Harbor. Alright, so this is where it becomes interesting. So now we have City's Blessing. So I can now Vizier of Many Faces and then into Metamorphic Alteration, turn him into Danitha or something else. So let's do that. So let's play, have to make sure I tap right here. So Vizier of Many Faces, copying the Tendershoot Dryad, turn this guy into a 5/5, and then let's go ahead and Metamorphic Alteration, which, I mean, this would work well on Valdek, but we're going to turn him into someone else. So Metamorphic Alteration. Alright, so opponent does scoop it up, but we definitely would have taken over the game there. Could have turned the Valdek into Danitha. One of them would have had to die, and yeah, that was pretty good. Alright, so you guys got to see kind of the combo start going off there. Unfortunately, we didn't quite... Every time we start getting to where we're going that big, we either are about to die and opponent can just kind of close out the game, or we are they scoop it up before we can actually go off and create a really fun, cool combo. But anyway, that's kind of the fun part of the deck, is just creating tons of Tendershoot Dryads. And I think as far as that goes, we actually do that pretty well in this deck. We are either creating a bunch of Tendershoot Dryads or Sporecrown Thallids or the Shepherds, which all are really powerful things, hopefully drawing into more stuff. That is kind of the one thing I would say this deck needs, is some more card draw, because you definitely want to draw into the Tendershoot Dryad and the lands. We were running into that issue, both those issues, pretty heavily. So what I would say, if you were going to change this up, I would go down a couple of Mirror Image, probably. I think Metamorphic Alteration is better just because it has the versatility of being played on your opponent's creatures as well. And I guess just bring in card draw. Mirror Image is fun, but I would probably go down the Mirror Image, especially if we're trying to make this rotation proof. I think that's the only card that isn't rotation proof in here. So yeah, just go down that, and the Vizier, of course. But I don't know. Anyway, this is a really fun deck. I do enjoy it. Helm of the Host is a little slow, so maybe only run 2 of those. Because like I said, if you are playing the Mirror Image and that kind of stuff, you can play it for 3 mana and do the same effect as Helm of the Host. The biggest thing, though, is once you pay for it once, then you get that effect every single turn as long as it survives. So I don't know. There's bonus. There's some things that are good about it, some things that are bad. But overall, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the deck. Some things that you would maybe change around with it, different things that you would do. But I really like the idea of just creating tons of Tendershoot Dryads, because, oh my goodness, that's so fun. And like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys in the next video, and bye-bye.